Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this latest episode of Fresh Review Friday. So sit back, relax, grab your cigar, maybe a drink, and enjoy. What's up guys, welcome to another Fresh Review Friday. Thanks for joining me. Glad I'm back with another Fresh Review this week. I got all my stuff together and I seem to have some kind of working functional ability to do what I had been hoping to do. Don't know why I'm telling you all that, but I'm back. I'm doing another Fresh Review. Hope you guys enjoyed the video last week of my first attempt at pipe smoking. That was a lot of fun to do, and I very much enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too. But I'm back, and I'm doing what I usually do, and I'm kind of checking out different boutique cigars, which tends to be where I reside most of the time. Every now and then I'll throw in a nice heritage brand, but for the most part I do like to stick with boutiques because there's just so many hidden gems out there. You never know what you're going to find. And the brand that I'm going to be smoking tonight is actually a fairly well-known brand. Not crazy popular. I haven't heard of a lot of people who smoke this brand, but it has caught my eye numerous times. I've had one of this brand before. Unfortunately, I can't remember which one from this particular manufacturer that I tried because it was a long time ago, and I'm sure I have the band lying around somewhere. Maybe I'll go dig for it later. But tonight, I once again pulled this one out of my humidor. It was kind of a random choice, but I'm glad I decided to go with it because I've heard a lot of good things about this brand, and the brand I'm talking about is Padilla, and the cigar I'm going to be smoking tonight is called the Artemis. So, without any further ado, cue music. What's up everybody, you're watching Dad Smoking Cigars, sponsored by Casa Cuevas Cigars, from our casa to yours. Thank you so much for joining me. And as I said before, I'm going to be smoking tonight the Padilla Artemis. Now, I read up on this cigar a little bit before I decided to get going, and I gotta say, it's actually a very interesting cigar in terms of what it is. Now, it's technically, well actually no, I don't know if it's technically a puro, though it seems to be made with all Nicaraguan tobacco. So I guess you could say that it's a puro, but it doesn't state specifically that it's a puro. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but I'm rolling with it. So it's manufactured in the Raíces Cubano factory in Honduras, interestingly enough, but it is all not Honduran, all Nicaraguan tobacco underneath a Nicaraguan Cubano seed wrapper. So pretty much all Nicaraguan tobacco, which Nicaraguan is probably my favorite if I had to say. Nicaraguan and Dominican are two of the most common tobaccos used in cigars today. Obviously there's tobacco from Honduras, there's Cuban cigars, which Cuban seed is used pretty much everywhere. It's grown almost everywhere. It's used in a lot of cigars, but it's not seen as a true Cuban cigar unless, of course, it is grown, rolled, and manufactured in Cuba. So, but yeah, this pretty much is all Nicaraguan tobacco. And don't you just love how I try to keep saying Nicaraguan? Anyways, but this is a torpedo Vitola, but it is actually the very first box press, it seems, that Padilla has made. So I consider myself privileged to smoke it. And on that note, I'm not going to do too much more talking until I get this baby cut and lit. So let's get to it. I think the blades on my scissors might need a little bit of sharpening, which is interesting because it's brand spanking new. So, what can I say? Well, thankfully I didn't inhale the filler this time. I just got a lot of it on my tongue, so. Usual dried fruit notes, more raisiny. A lot of times it tastes like kind of dates, but this is definitely a very raisin-like flavor. Almost a bitter spice that I'm getting. Not quite baking spice, I'm not sure. Can't quite place it, but the cold draw is bringing some interesting flavors. some bitterness there that I wasn't quite expecting. The initial sweetness of kind of like the dried fruit, the raisins, came through strong, and then I got some of a little bit of a bitter flavor. I hope that kind of changes as I toast it and light it. So let's see what we see. Very toasty, woody, getting a lot of cedar. Wow. Some strong cedar kind of woodsy notes. Small hint of kind of nutty flavors. Slightly harsh on the retrohale, but it opens it up a little bit more. Not much, but it opens it up a little more where that spice doesn't seem so bitter. It has a very small, kind of a very slight, mild sweetness to it, but very woodsy right from the get-go. Now, I don't know if it's because I haven't been hydrating a lot today. I haven't been drinking as much water. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of cotton off, but I'm not going to assume it's because of the cigar. I'm going to assume it's because I need water, which I will drink after I, talk to you about how I'm going to smoke down the first third, which I'm telling you right now, I'm going to smoke down the first third. And I am going to give you my thoughts when I'm all done with that. And in the meantime, and during that time, I'm going to be drinking some water because I don't want my palate to get all screwed up because I am dehydrated. So anyways, whether you cared to know that or not, you now do. And now you can just chill until I come right back. I'm going to stop talking. See you in a sec. Alright guys, I am wrapping up the first third of the Padilla Artemis, and it's actually quite good. Pretty just simple, kind of smooth flavors. The retrohale's not as harsh as it was when I first started. Kind of getting still some of that kind of woody notes, a little bit of grassy hay, earthiness. A slight hint of cream, actually, that I'm kind of getting right now. Started getting not too long ago as I was wrapping up that first third, and it's quite tasty, very smooth. This is the kind of cigar, or one of a number of cigars that I've smoked where I feel like it could be a go-to everyday cigar, and this one doesn't feel like it would be any different. Very smooth, really nice flavors. Again, this is kind of a cigar that I believe would go great with a cup of coffee, just based off of what I'm tasting right now. And I think that, it would be a really great cigar with coffee. It's a Habano, and I love Habano cigars. They're some of my favorite. I love anything in terms of like strength and flavor from medium to full. Those are my favorite kinds of cigars. Every now and then I'm in the mood for something really bold. Tonight I was kind of in that mood, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to smoke, and so I just decided to grab this little beauty out of my humidor, and I'm glad that I did, because it's a very again, very smooth, nice flavors, not harsh. That bitterness I was tasting at the beginning on the cold draw and that initial light up went away completely, and it's mellowed out. It's very nice, smooth, hint of sweetness, hint of cream, along with the nutty and woodsy notes with that kind of grassy hay flavor. Again, if this was another time of day, it was like during the daylight hours, I would have loved to have smoked this with a cup of coffee. Hopefully I'll get another opportunity to do that. I love cigars and coffee. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Having them together is just bliss. And but I'm enjoying this now, so I'm not without any blissful feelings, emotions, or anything like that. So, but it's quite delicious. I'm enjoying it a lot. And I'm going to wait and see if there's any transition at all once I get past like the halfway point and I'm wrapping up maybe the second third. Don't know what to expect, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to keep smoking it, and you guys will get to hear my thoughts, whether you want to or not. But if you're watching this, I hope you like to hear my thoughts. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Have you tried any Padilla cigars at any given point in time? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on different different cigars from the manufacturer, because I know that there are a lot that this company offers. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna keep smoking, and I will get back with you guys in just a sec, so sit tight. What's up, guys? Alright, second third done, and I am basically at the halfway point of this cigar, and it is smoking down very nicely. I haven't had to relight or touch up or anything like that. Construction's nice and solid, very little give. Thought that was pretty good thing to mention, because it's something I hadn't talked about yet. As far as the flavor, it's transitioned ever so slightly, where I'm still getting a lot of those kind of woody notes, and the grassy hay. The creaminess still kind of is lingering just a tiny bit, but not by much, and it is just a little bit more on the, I guess you could say, the bolder side in terms of flavor. And I'm getting a little bit kind of like the woodiness is kind of giving way to a little bit of a smokiness, I guess you could say, which always sounds funny. Of course, I'm smoking a cigar, there's going to be some smokiness to it. But that's not typical, especially with like a Habano, but it's kind of got a mesquite flavor profile to it in a strange way. But still grassy hay, woodiness, nuttiness, earthiness, and kind of that smoked wood flavor, that mesquite, kind of hint of mesquite. Slight sweetness to it, but it's really good. The ash holds on for a bit here and there, but then it just kind of gives way, and I'm just going to go ahead and tap it off. There's a little divot in the ash anyway, it wasn't going to last long. But still very smooth smoke. Retrohale still very smooth, opens it up nicely, getting more of those kind of woody notes. Not too much breadiness that I've noticed, not really any, but it's still quite good. Still very tasty, still a nice smooth smoke. So I'm gonna just take it down to the nub, and we'll see what we get there, and yeah, I'll hit you guys back once I get all of that worked out. So stick around. Alright, friends, wrapping up the Padilla Artemis, and this has been a very tasty smoke, very smooth smoke, and it's finishing off the peppery side, which I try not to do this when I'm looking at descriptions, getting information on cigars that I'm smoking, because usually it'll kind of tell you, depending on which site or what source you visit, that what kind of flavor profiles you can expect, what other people have tried, what other people have had, and it can be, I feel like it can kind of interrupt your experience in a way, which I know sounds kind of funny, but I like to discover for myself what the flavors are, what I taste, because everyone's different. I have talked to people who smoke the exact same cigar, and they get something completely different out of it than I did, or at least there's a few variations enough to where I'm like, I did not experience that, I did not taste that, I didn't get anything of what you just described to me. And you know what? It's all basically subject to the cigar smoker themselves, what they're going to actually get out of it, and what they're going to taste, what kind of flavors, and the different types of different bits they're going to get while they're smoking it. But it did say that it would have a nice peppery finish, and they weren't kidding. I'm starting to get some more of that pepperiness. I'm feeling it on the tip of my tongue, definitely right there in my palate. I'm going to go ahead and see what kind of retrohale experience I'm going to get, because I haven't been retrohaling much. Whoa. Pretty smooth. Definitely a little bit on the peppery side. So there you have it. They were being honest about that part. Apparently enough people smoked it and got similar experiences toward the end. Very peppery, but still getting kind of those woodsy, not so much nutty notes, mostly kind of like that, I guess you could say smoked, like mesquite, kind of a mesquite flavor that I'm getting. No hint of sweetness this time around. The cream flavor is completely gone. Very woodsy, very peppery, but not in a harsh way, not overly so. I like it. It tastes good. and it's definitely stayed pretty smooth throughout. Only so much transition. This is the biggest one that I've had throughout the entire smoke, and I like it. It's good. Definitely something that I would smoke again, and that it could be a regular in my rotation for sure. Padilla is a brand that I would like to explore more, like so many other manufacturers that are out there that make cigars that I've heard so much about. Sometimes I flip through Cigars International. I get the catalog every now and then, or something I see on somebody's feed, or something that's advertised. Padilla has popped up pretty regularly throughout, and it's a brand I would love to explore more. I don't know if they necessarily fit strictly in the boutiques, but they are a lesser known brand that is still somewhat popular. So I think it's safe to say this kind of still lingers in the boutique category, and it's a great cigar. I enjoyed it a lot. The construction was good. Burn was pretty good throughout. I think I only had to touch it up maybe once. Went out once, and maybe that's because I left it too long. But other than that, it has maintained very well. Good flavor. Nothing unpleasant about it at all. But it was a tasty smoke. And giving my final rating and thoughts, I would say that this cigar, I think this cigar settles at a nice 89, and it's not, like I said, in other cigars that I've tried that kind of rate similarly, not mind-blowing, but it's also still a very good smoke. I would love to smoke this on the regular. I would not be unhappy if I got a box of these, if I decided to pick up a box and have them just chill in my humidor, and every now and then kind of just decide to, if I didn't want to smoke certain other cigars that I'm saving for another time, or whatever the case might be, have this with a cup of coffee, have it with a nice whiskey. It's a nice, pleasant Habano, and it's completely made with Nicaraguan tobacco, so that makes me pretty happy, considering I love Nicaraguan tobacco. It is my favorite. I have never had a bad experience with Nicaraguan tobacco, unless it was just blended with something else that just didn't work. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It's good. Padilla is a brand that I definitely want to check out more of, so hopefully in the future I'll get to do that. But anyways, guys, thank you as always for joining me for another edition of Fresh Review Friday. It's always a blast. I love creating content for you guys. Studio is almost done. I know I keep saying that, but very, very soon, and I'm determined that hopefully by the next time, hopefully, no promises, but hopefully by the next time I shoot a video, there is going to be a change of scenery, and it is much needed for sure. So anyways, guys, thank you again for joining me, and as always, I will catch you in the next one. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning into this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also follow Dad Smoking Cigars on dads_smoking_cigars on Instagram, and be sure to check us out on Facebook. Until then, guys, stay smoky, and I'll see you in the next one.